Well, Wantoe, let's turn to you now for the student voice, and if you could just give us some details about what, under your tenure, has come across your desk in terms of the concerns raised by students. And we've had such a lovely, rich set of descriptions here. I've woefully gone over time, so we've only got time for a few questions. So what we'll do is listen to Wantoe, and then we'll take 3 or 4 questions from the audience in one fell swoop, and then the panelists will answer it, and then we'll get straight on to the project presentations. But Wantoe, let's hear from you, please.
It was a bit very interesting when you said listening to Wantoe. I feel so important. But it's a fascinating kind of conversation, and I mean, we've been having this conversation since we started this program. The interesting aspect is that when it comes to AI, there are a lot of academics who are primarily afraid that a lot of students are way ahead of them in terms of their usage of artificial intelligence. So, and a lot of students are primarily afraid in terms of their accountability measure. So there is a mistrust between both academics and students. And in the midpoint of that, we found ourselves in that middle of conflict as student leaders. So when we started our role, one of the biggest issues that we encountered was AI, because the university obviously rolled out the ChatGPT rollout. And over the period of time, we substantially have been very much investigative on how we can be able to have a conversation around that issue. In recent time, we concluded a report from one of our policy associates. And throughout the report, one of the most important things we realized is that a lot of students do not disagree with AI. They think AI is impressive, it has a lot of innovative potential, and it's exceptionally, futuristic. There are major concerns come to some of the conversation we've had, the environmental impact. If you have conversation with a lot of students also, there is a bit of the epistemology inequality. That is mostly international students who believe that, okay, there is a technological gap between where I am and the current, ability of students who are way, ahead of me. And personally, I found myself in that midpoint as an African. The other thing that's also very important is the misinformation, and then obviously data become very critical. So a few days ago, we have because we have the Conference of Common Room, which is one of our methodology of leadership and motion point, which primarily empowers students to have a voice in terms of making decisions. So the way the Conference of Common Room works is that each JCR or MCR leader vote through motions that are being put out by them. The motion comes directly from the Common Room. And so we had a motion that passed successfully. And that motion was basically students saying we are in opposition to unethical AI, which is, quite frankly, everyone is in opposition to unethical AI. The real sense in this conversation is that students do think that there must be some accountability measures. They believe that AI should be framed in a way that it answers some of the basic needs and questions. Who is, AI being framed for? What is the future of artificial intelligence in universities? How do we build an ecosystem of trust? And the other aspect that's also critical is the concern on the academic nature of it, which is, if you take a tour here with a lot of students, they will be concerned over the summative, informative, or grading process with AI. So I think in a nutshell, we do think the way we can be able to combat this scenario is more conversations. And I think the level of conversation is very important. That this is one of the reasons why I do applaud the colloquium, because it gives students an incredible chance to be able to express their opinion. The other report that we also had recently was we co-lead the Bohemian Library AI working group. So that was one project I was very much fascinated about, because a lot of students, especially postgrad, were concerned about the policy, intervention of the library system in terms of AI. And across the table, I had a chance to sit on the table of accountability. But across the table, one of the major conversations that erupted was the idea that students were concerned over their data usage. And I think that's something that we may not have the answer for right now, but I do think there must be some level of conversation on how we can be able to build that level of trust with a lot of students.
Yeah, thank you, Wantoe. I think what you've done there is emphasise that we're all in this together, and we've just got to keep all the lines of communication and sight open.